Have you ever wondered why God hasn't destroyed Satan, even though he is holy, righteous, and hates evil? If God is all-powerful, why does he allow Satan to exist and cause suffering? The answer isn't simple, but it's found in the Bible. In the beginning, Satan was Lucifer, a beautiful and powerful angel. God created him to reflect his divine glory. But Lucifer, filled with pride, wanted to elevate himself above God. He desired worship instead of serving God. This pride led to his rebellion, and he convinced a third of the angels to follow him. They were cast out of heaven and became fallen angels, now serving Satan. But here's the important part. God didn't destroy them immediately. Why? Because God is just. He doesn't act impulsively. Judgment is coming, but it hasn't arrived yet. Satan, though defeated, still exists to fulfill a higher purpose in God's eternal plan. In the meantime, God has given us the gift of free will, the ability to choose to love and follow him. So why hasn't God destroyed Satan? The answer lies in God's perfect justice, love, and plan for redemption. His victory over Satan has already been secured. And one day, judgment will come. Why does God allow Satan to continue influencing the world, even though he has the power to destroy him? The key lies in understanding God's perfect plan. Satan was once Lucifer, a powerful and beautiful angel created by God to reflect his glory. But Lucifer's pride led to his downfall. He sought to elevate himself above God, and in doing so, he became Satan, the adversary. Satan's rebellion wasn't a fight between equals. God is infinitely more powerful than Satan. In fact, Satan's defeat was inevitable from the start. Yet, God did not destroy him immediately. Instead, he allowed Satan's existence to serve a larger purpose in his divine plan. God's decision to wait before judgment allows us to experience the gift of free will. He doesn't force anyone to follow him, but he gives us the choice to love him freely. Even Satan's actions are being used by God to fulfill his ultimate plan of redemption. Though Satan continues to wreak havoc, God's sovereignty remains intact. His victory over Satan was secured at the cross, and the final judgment is already written. One day, Satan will face his ultimate defeat, and God's justice will be perfectly fulfilled. Many wonder why God hasn't destroyed Satan yet, especially since he is all-powerful, holy, and just. The answer lies in God's greater purpose. Satan, originally known as Lucifer, was created by God as a perfect angel to reflect his glory. But Lucifer's pride led to his rebellion. He wanted to be worshipped like God, and in his desire for power, he became Satan, the enemy of all good. God allowed Satan's rebellion to unfold to demonstrate a key aspect of his character. Love, by nature, must be freely chosen. Without the ability to choose, there is no genuine love. If God had immediately destroyed Satan, he would have taken away the free will of his created beings. That would have turned them into mere robots, unable to choose love, faith, and loyalty. Instead, God is allowing Satan to exist for a time, using even his rebellion to teach us endurance, patience, and trust in God's ultimate justice. The victory is already secured through Jesus Christ's death and resurrection. Satan's fate is sealed, and though he still works in the world, his defeat is already guaranteed. God's plan will culminate in the final judgment when Satan and all evil will be completely eradicated. God's patience in allowing Satan and evil to exist is often questioned, but the Bible reveals a profound reason behind it. God, in his infinite wisdom, is using the existence of evil to fulfill his greater purpose of redemption. The story of Lucifer's fall from grace isn't just about punishment, it's about God's love, justice, and ultimate victory. When Lucifer became Satan, he didn't just oppose God, he chose to corrupt everything good. But God, rather than immediately destroying Satan, allowed this rebellion to play out in order to teach us essential lessons. Through the struggles caused by Satan's presence, God teaches us resilience, discernment, and trust in his timing. Every battle against darkness strengthens our faith and draws us closer to Him. God could have destroyed Satan at any moment, but instead, He chose to let the narrative unfold. This divine patience is not weakness, but an expression of love and justice. In allowing Satan to remain, God provides every creature with the opportunity to choose righteousness. It's a demonstration of freedom, the freedom to choose love, even in a world marred by evil. In the end, God will bring final justice and victory, establishing His kingdom where evil will no longer have a place. The ultimate reason why God allows Satan to exist comes down to one central truth: free will. God created all beings, including Satan and the angels, with the freedom to choose. This choice was necessary for true love and obedience to exist. Without free will, love would be meaningless. It would be nothing more than forced obedience. By allowing Satan to rebel, God granted His creation the opportunity to choose. Satan's fall demonstrates the consequences of rejecting God's will, but it also emphasizes the incredible gift of freedom that God gives us. The existence of evil in the world is a reminder that love must be chosen, not coerced. Satan's rebellion and continued existence may seem like an act of defiance against God's goodness, but God, in His sovereignty, uses even Satan's evil for His greater purpose. Through the struggle between good and evil, we are refined, our faith is tested, and we grow in our relationship with God. Ultimately, God's love for His creation is demonstrated in His patience and the freedom He gives to all beings. The story of Satan's existence and eventual defeat serves as a testimony to God's justice, love, and eternal plan for redemption. Despite Satan's evil intentions, God remains in full control. Satan, though powerful, is not equal to God. He is a created being who sought to overthrow his creator, but he was cast down, and his rebellion was crushed. The Bible makes it clear that God has already won. Satan's power is limited, and he only operates within the boundaries that God allows. This doesn't mean Satan's influence is not real or that evil doesn't exist in the world. We still face trials, temptations, and suffering, but God's ultimate plan remains unshaken. Even when Satan tries to bring chaos, God uses those situations to bring about good. Just like in the story of Job, where Satan sought to destroy Job's life, God's sovereignty was evident. Satan couldn't touch Job without God's permission, and in the end, Job's faith was strengthened, and God was glorified. The battle may appear intense, but it's a battle that's already been won. Satan's fate is sealed, and his attempts to thwart God's plan will ultimately fail. God's justice will prevail, and Satan will face the full measure of God's judgment. God's patience isn't a sign of weakness. It's a sign of His great love and His desire to give all creation the freedom to choose. God's justice isn't impulsive or rash. It's perfect and will come at the right time. While we may question why God hasn't destroyed Satan yet, His delay isn't a sign of weakness. It's part of a divine plan. God's judgment will not only bring an end to evil, but it will also reveal His perfect justice for all to see. Every being, human angel and fallen angel, will stand before God and give an account of their actions. This judgment day isn't just about punishment. It's about setting things right. It will bring closure to the chaos that Satan has caused, but it will also be an act of restoration. God's goal is to restore order, heal what is broken, and bring peace where there has been strife. Even now, we see glimpses of God's redemptive power. Through the life and resurrection of Jesus Christ, God has shown that He can take the darkest moments and turn them into triumph. The cross, a symbol of Satan's apparent victory, became the ultimate defeat for the enemy. Though Satan is still at work in the world, his time is running out. God's victory is secure, and the final judgment will mark the end of Satan's reign and the beginning of everlasting peace. God's sovereignty is a fundamental truth that we must hold on to in moments of uncertainty. Though we see evil thriving in the world, it's crucial to remember that God is in control of everything. Even Satan, the source of much of the world's suffering, operates within the limits that God allows. This shows that God is never caught off guard. Every event, every trial, and every struggle we face is within his knowledge and plan. While Satan's actions may seem chaotic, God is using even those moments to bring about his greater purpose. The presence of evil in the world allows for the exercise of free will, a choice that is essential for love and obedience to be genuine. God's ultimate plan for redemption is still unfolding, and every soul has the opportunity to choose him. This divine patience isn't without purpose. God's timing is perfect, and the delay in Satan's final judgment allows humanity to see his justice, mercy, and love. As believers, we are called to trust in his perfect timing, knowing that the victory is already assured. God will not allow evil to have the last word, and we can have confidence that he will bring all things to completion in his time. God's judgment is an essential aspect of his divine plan. Although Satan and his followers continue to exist for a time, there is a clear promise in Scripture. Judgment is coming. God's justice is not hasty, nor is it driven by anger or impulse. It is perfect and measured, ensuring that every wrong is righted and every choice is accounted for. The Bible makes it clear that Satan's time will come, but until then, he remains under God's control. The delay in his judgment allows us to see God's patience in action. He gives every individual and every being the chance to make a choice, to choose light over darkness. It is a reminder that God values free will and genuine love over forced obedience. However, this patience is not infinite. The day will come when Satan, his angels, and all who choose evil will face judgment. That day will bring not just punishment, but restoration. God will cleanse the world of all that is corrupted and make all things new. Every knee will bow, and every tongue will confess that Jesus Christ is Lord. The victory has already been won at the cross, and Satan's defeat is certain. Until that final day, we wait in hope, trusting in God's ultimate plan. In the end, God's victory over Satan and evil will be complete. It's important to understand that while Satan's influence still affects the world, it does not mean he is winning. God is sovereign, and his ultimate purpose will always prevail. The victory was secured at the cross of Jesus Christ, where he conquered sin, death, and the enemy once and for all. Satan's power is not eternal, and his influence is temporary. God has already won, and the final judgment is set. Every battle, every struggle, and every trial we face in life is a reminder of the ultimate victory in Christ. While evil may seem to have the upper hand at times, it is only for a season. God's justice will prevail, and he will make all things right. As believers, we are called to live in the victory that Christ has already secured. We may face trials, temptations, and opposition, but we do not fight for victory. We fight from victory. God has already defeated the enemy, and our role is to stand firm in faith, trusting in his plan. Ultimately, God will restore everything that is broken, and the victory that Jesus achieved on the cross will be fully realized in the coming of God's eternal kingdom. As we reflect on the spiritual battle between good and evil, it's essential to remember that our role as believers is to stand firm in God's promises. Though Satan may continue to influence the world, we have been equipped with the armor of God to resist his schemes. The Bible tells us that we are more than conquerors through Christ, who strengthens us. Romans 8:37. In our daily lives, we face temptation, trials, and hardships, but we are never alone. God's presence and power are always with us. We have access to his wisdom, strength, and peace to overcome every challenge. When we trust in God, we know that he works all things together for our good. Romans 8:28. The enemy may attempt to deceive, destroy, and disrupt, but he is already defeated. His fate is sealed, and we can have confidence in the victory Jesus has secured. As we live out our faith, we are called to be lights in a dark world, sharing the love of Christ and showing the hope that we have in Him. By relying on God's power and remaining steadfast in faith, we can face the world's challenges with courage, knowing that God's justice will ultimately prevail. In the face of evil, it's easy to wonder why God allows Satan and his influence to persist. But God's timing and His ways are beyond our understanding. While Satan continues his work on earth, we can rest assured that God is sovereign and in complete control. His plan is greater than we can imagine, and even the enemy's actions can be used to fulfill God's purposes. Satan's existence serves a higher purpose in God's grand design, one that focuses on human free will, growth, and redemption. God could have destroyed Satan immediately after his rebellion, but in His perfect justice, He allows time for the unfolding of His ultimate plan. By allowing this, we see the power of choice and the depths of God's love for His creation. God is not passive in this struggle. He is actively working in the hearts of His people, teaching us patience, resilience, and trust. Through the trials and tribulations that come our way, God shapes us into vessels of His grace. In the end, Satan's ultimate defeat will be a demonstration of God's justice, mercy, and power. We can hold on to this promise. God's victory over evil is assured, and His justice will be perfect.